Hello, welcome to Maidens of Mayhem. We are a D&D roleplay heavy podcast. I am Gabby, but today I will not be your DM. If you didn't already know, every 10 episodes we will be doing a special little bonus episode where one of the players takes over the DM chair and we run a little one-shot. This time around, Molly is wearing the DM crown, so I'm going to go ahead and give it away to her.
I wasn't aware there was a crown. Where's my crown, Gabby?
I forgot to send it in the mail. I'm so sorry.
Gosh, dang it. Dang it. Well,
those shipping costs. I'm so sorry.
Well, hi guys. You heard Gabby right. Today I will be DMing a one-shot that I created based off of Edgar Allen Poe's Masque of the Red Death. And that's pretty much all I want to tell you guys right now. So let's go ahead and we'll get started, and I'm going to have everybody introduce their characters they created for the one-shot. Let me tell you, I'm excited about some of these characters and some of their names. They're so cool and I love them. So who would like to go first?
I volunteer Gabby.
Our fearless leader, would you like to go first and introduce your character?
I guess I will, because I guess I'm the only one no one's seen play as far as our audience, so I'll go first. So I'm Gabby, as I already said, and today I will be playing Bardryn Keovidunn. Oh, hold on, my mouth is not wanting to wrap around this word. Bardryn Keovidunn, but you can call her Rin. She is a mountain dwarf grave cleric, and she's very neutral about most things and tries to be more of like a mediator type of person. And that's all I really know about how I want to play her so far, so we'll figure the rest out throughout the one shot.
And what does Rin look like?
Rin is, she's a beautiful little dwarf. She has red hair that is braided back into a bun. Very careful in how she presents herself. And then she's got the big bulky armor of a cleric. It's like silver, and on her her emblem it is a skeletal hand holding like a balance thing of the two dishes. What is it just called a balance? The
I
two
believe
dishes?
so.
Yes. Scales. That was the word I was looking for.
All right, who is next?
Hi guys, I am Mikhayla, usually play Nemesis, but today I am trying something completely different, and I am going to play a half-orc druid, and her name is Franny Freerange. And I'm not going to reveal her age, only because she doesn't like to talk about it. She just wants everybody to just know her as her and not really put an age on it. That'll help you gauge, though, once you start to learn her, and maybe you can make some guesses on how old you think that she is. But she is very passionate about nature and arts. She's tall. Obviously, she's a half orc. She's a little bit burly, little girly, little burly. And she decorates her clothing in vines. She loves vines. She has a vine crown, a little vine scarf, vine belt. She loves, if she finds a pretty rock or a pretty flower, she'll take it and she'll use it to decorate herself with. She likes to be one with nature, I guess you could say. And that's all I'm going to reveal about Franny. So you're definitely going to meet her. And if you feel like you know how old she is, maybe you can comment on our Instagram page. Yeah.
She's 2 years old, right?
I love Franny. I love Franny. I love Rin. I love everybody. Okay, Morgan, who's your character?
Alright, now name's Arifaeth Wivvyrholdalphiax, Copper Dragonborn Fighter. This is Morgan, of course, but I will be playing Arifaeth Wivvyrholdalphiax, Copper Dragonborn Fighter of the martial archetype Rune Knight, which is a new one from, I believe, Tasha's Cauldron. Very exciting to play him. He is very large, very bulky, and his background is actually archaeologist, so he likes to go out on digs, and he really can't leave a room unless he's checked everything for secret doors. He has some bulky armor on. I don't really know what else to talk about Faeth with.
All right. Well, that's actually perfect. Now I know exactly how to tie you guys and get you where I need you to be.
I love Arifaeth?
Arifaeth. Call him Faeth, though.
I'm gonna call him Faeth.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call him Faith.
This is gonna be in his accent now. I'm sorry to all the Australian viewers, if we have any, to hear my horrible accent.
Wait
She's
until
Terrible.
wait until you hear the NPC's accent. Get ready and buckle yourself in.
It was either this or Russian. I could have done him like this. I don't think this fits Arifaeth very much, though. So, I'll wait for Gabby to get back in, and this was gonna be Faith's other voice.
He sounds like
Gabby
a
is
Viking.
like, what is happening here?
He sounds like old Russian lady.
He does sound like old Russian, that's why I don't think it fits him that much.
Oh my goodness!
But it could have been him.
Alright, so the three of you have been traveling as a party for a couple months now, and you've gotten to know each other pretty well over that time period. While you've been traveling in various taverns and such, you have heard talk of a kingdom called Swordbreak. So what you've heard is that Swordbreak was once a bustling trade city along the coast. About 4 months prior, the kingdom itself just kind of disappeared off of the map. No trades have gone in or come out of the city. You haven't heard hide nor hair of their king or their prince, any of the royal family really. It just seems to have disappeared completely. So one day, Faith gets the bright idea that he wants to go investigate and see exactly what happened. So you guys find yourself traveling to Swordbreak at the behest of your companion, the Copper Dragon Faeth. So, standing on the outskirts of the city, you see just these tall walls looming over you, creating this imposing shadow. And as you look up at this structure, you hear a very angry female voice behind you. And it says, "Who are you and what are you doing here?"
Oh, we weren't expecting that.
I was sent over here by some patrons of mine. They who is standing there?
So when you turn around to see the source of the voice, you see this half-orc woman with pale forest green skin and stringy black hair. You see that she's come from this tent that's kind of off to the side on the outskirts of the city. And she's just staring you down. She looks a little confused, but also a little angry at the same time. So she's just giving you some serious looks here.
So, what exactly did I hear about this place that piqued my interest? It just did.
It's just pretty much disappeared.
Okay. Just that it disappeared. I just thought it'd be real nice to check out. I heard some rumors that it disappeared and wanted to see it for myself. Bring my companions along,
She's just gonna look at you. She's going to say, "What have you heard about this place?"
Just that it seemed to fall off the edge of the map.
She's gonna look at you guys, and she's gonna be... She seems a little suspicious, but she's gonna say, "Alright, follow me then." And she's going to wave you guys to follow her into her tent.
Franny's gonna look over at Faith and say, Faith, sweetie, do you think this is a good idea?
Yeah, Faith, are you sure you're not leading us into some sort of trap?
I can't guarantee that I'm not leading you somewhere bad, but that's part of the fun. And I'll follow her in.
Rin just sighs and goes after Faith.
Franny's gonna be like, oh, these kids these days. And she's gonna kind of shake her head a little bit and follow.
So, when you walk into this tent, you will see that there is a shield up against one of the tent walls, and on the shield is a symbol of an upright left gauntlet with a staring eye on it. There is a map on a table, and there is a barrel of what you can only assume is libations. I'm going to pour you all a drink, and she's going to invite you guys to sit down.
Rin continues standing, kind of towards a wall or something.
She's being hospitable now, and I'll take a seat.
Franny's gonna take the drink and sit too.
Alright. So, what she's going to do, she's going to say, my name is Veda. Can't say it's good to meet you under the circumstances, but I can say I could use some help if you're willing to lend it.
Franny's gonna reach her hand out and say, "Hi, sweetie, my name's Franny. Help with what?"
She is going to sigh, and she's going to take a drink, and she's going to say, the reason the kingdom has disappeared off the map is because it's been ravaged by a disease. The citizens would call it the Red Death. And then she's going to point to the map, and she's going to say, what it does is it takes over the body. First you experience the sharp pains, and then dizziness, and then you start to bleed through the pores, and once it's contracted, you die in less than half an hour.
Oh, that sounds awful, honey. And that's all we know? It just kind of kills you?
That's not exactly all we know. What I do know is that the Prince Vialtor has been holed up in his castle this entire time. All of his friends just throwing a party while everything goes to shit around us.
Sounds like a typical king. Well, maybe we'll have to pay him a visit, honey.
Really, you do that? And she's gonna look to all of you.
I mean, is that what you're asking us? I just went a little Scottish there. Sorry about that, mate. Hold on, I need to get back into Australian. That's what you're asking us, right?
I would greatly appreciate the help if you're willing to loan it. With that, she is going to roll up the map and offer it to you guys. Whoever wants to take it may take it.
I'll take the map. Unless...
Yeah. No, I was going to say Faeth can take the map.
Alright, so she's going to lead you guys up to the gates, and she's going to say, just a moment, please, and she's going to go really quiet, and then she's going to say, alright, let's go, and she's going to lead you guys in.
Okay. Guess we're going to follow.
Right behind her. This is an adventure.
Alright, you guys have just entered the gates of the city, so when you and Veda enter, the streets are barren. Several buildings line the streets in varying states of decay. The stench of death is on the wind. And in the distance, you can see Prince Vialtor's castle. Directly ahead of you are the ruins of an ornate carriage. What do you guys want to do?
Franny's gonna get very much attracted to the ornate carriage. She's wanna go check it out.
Yeah, Faith's heading that way too.
Alright. And what are you doing, Rin?
Rin is definitely probably just still her arms are crossed, walking just down the street and eyeing everything up, and I would like to use my ability called Eyes of the Grave, which would let me see any undead within 60 feet of me that's not behind total cover.
Alright, go ahead and do that, and give me a perception.
That is an 18.
You don't see anything. It's deathly still. No pun intended.
She grunts when she realizes this, and then looks to see what the other two are doing.
Alright. You guys are at the carriage, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Go ahead and give me a perception roll, both of you.
12.
13!
Alright, so Franny, with your 12, you notice that this carriage has been there for quite a while. There are two corpses, one of whom you assume is a driver, and a passenger. So the passenger is definitely a female, or someone who identifies as a female. It is wearing a crimson dress with gold trim. However, since you rolled a 12, you do not notice what I need you to notice, but Faeth catches it. There is actually a paper crumpled up in her hand.
Ooh.
And there are also 3 trunks, 1 small, 1 medium, and 1 large.
So Franny notices the trunks at least?
Yes, she notices the trunks, but you don't notice the paper.
She's gonna look in the trunks.
Alright, so let's see what Franny finds in the trunks. Which one would you like to open first?
The largest trunk.
So in the largest trunk, there's just a lot of fine clothing, like rich people clothing. Just very opulent and very, over the top, kind of a carnival feel. You kind of get the feeling from it.
Okay. She's not interested. She likes her nature-esque clothing. She's not one for the materials. Well, she is, but...
I'd like to pick the letter up. What does the letter say? I'll read it out loud. Don't worry now. Oh, Faeth knows how to read.
There is a spelling error. I think you'll be able to see it.
Lady Retartro, His Royal Highness Prince Fialtua of Swordbreak cordially invites you to a masquerade ball in lieu of the sickness ravaging the city to remain until such a time as it is safe for you to return to your estate. I don't know why I'm starting to do an accent at the end of this, It is requested that guests arrive in costume to gain entry through the castle gates. His Royal Highness Prince Fialtua.
Ooh.
I think we gotta dress up.
Rin immediately turns to Faeth and says, I am not dressing up.
Aw, come on now.
Veda will look at Rin and say, I refuse to dress up as well. And then she's gonna glare at Faith.
I don't blood know how you get. I don't know what this accent was. Hold on. My voice said bye. Australian. I gotta think Australian now.
Think down under.
Yeah, down under. Don't blood know how you're gonna get in there then. It's a costume party.
Ren will look over at Veda and say, we'll find a way.
Veda will smile and say, I like the way you think. And then Veda's going to walk over to the trunks and she's going to open it up and she's going to gasp when she opens up the small trunk.
Ren will walk over to her.
Alright, so, Rin, when you look in there, you see an array of ornate masquerade masks. So, the first one you notice is a black mask that resembles a raven. It is covered in light metal that have been carved to resemble feathers. The feathers are lighter in color around the eye holes, and the beak protrudes slightly where the nose would be, and it's a half mask.
Okay.
There is a purple mask with human features. There are swirling silver patterns at the start of the corner of each eye, and move out, spreading over the mask. The end of each swirl is punctuated with a sapphire, and that is a full mask. There is an orange mask with amber-colored gems surrounding the eye holes. That is also a full mask. There's a blue mask with wave-like designs around the edges. It is decorated with bits of aquamarine and small diamonds. That's a half mask. There is one that is green with golden flakes scattered across it like freckles. It's much simpler than the others, but it's just as expensive. There's a white mask with silver and gold accent details. The upper lip is silver, the lower is gold. It has a metallic sheen to it. And then there's a deep violet mask outlined in onyx stones, and there are silver accents defining the eyes.
She'll look back at the others and say, I suppose if you two are dressing up, you might need these masks. And then she just steps away from it.
Franny's gonna walk up and be like, oh, come on, sweetie. You can wear the masks.
I don't believe in covering up one's face.
Well, I mean, you're beautiful the way that you are, honey.
If you can't do it with everyone seeing who you are, you must be ashamed of your actions. I'm not ashamed of whatever actions I will be doing here today.
Oh, snap. I love Rin.
I didn't know she was gonna be like this until now.
Rin, honey, it's more for our protection.
I can protect myself just fine.
Okay, sweetie. And, Franny's just gonna let her... Franny definitely views her as just like the stubborn child in this instance, So she's just gonna take it with a grain of salt and start looking at the masks.
All right. You see the same masks. Which one do you choose, Franny?
I'm digging the violet one. That accentuates the eyes.
All right. So you pick it up and you put it on. Nothing happens.
I did not like the phrase, nothing happens.
I honestly just went for it. But I figured there would be something up with the masks.
Nothing bad, I promise.
Yeah, okay.
Sure. Keep saying that. What kind of dungarees they got out here? What does the clothing look like? It's just fancy, like...
It's very opulent, very Carnival, Mardi Gras-esque.
Mardi Gras, right?
And you notice that a lot of the clothing matches the masks with color schemes and such.
Faeth is taking not his good old time looking through the clothes, but definitely finding something that looks good.
You definitely don't think any of this would fit you. It's meant to fit a very petite person.
Fine. He'll go over to the masks and look through the masks.
Which one do you choose?
He is interested in the green one with like the gold across the face. Like freckles.
Alright. You pick it up, you put it on, and nothing happens.
I think I look rather nice.
Franny's gonna look over at Faith. Does Faith say that out loud?
Yeah, he does.
Franny's gonna look over at Faith and say, "Oh, sweetie, that looks great on you. Wow, you do clean up nice, don't you, child?"
Oh, thanks. I know I got a lot of dirt on me. I just went southern. It's between Australian and southern, it's like a very small gap for my brain, you know?
Right.
I love it.
Title of this one shot: Morgan struggles.
Morgan
struggles Australian.
Because she wants to go southern all the time.
Right.
Australian. I gotta think Australian. No, got a lot of dirt on me sometimes, you know?
So, Veda's gonna look over at you, Rin, and she's going to say, I agree that one should not hide their face, but I think in order to blend in with the crowd, we should at least have one on hand. And she's going to reach and grab the blue mask.
I'm gonna roll to see how stubborn is she gonna be about this. Alright, Rin replies, I respect your decision, as I expect for you to respect mine.
She'll nod, and then she'll say, well then, I suppose we should find a different way for you to get in.
Yes, I suppose.
Alright. So, she is going to start leading you guys in the direction of the castle.
Faith is gonna pick up one extra mask, just a random one. He's gonna grab one.
Alright, let me roll to see which one you pick up.
And as we're going towards the castle, he will extend his elbow to Franny. So,
That's
may
so
I?
cute!
Oh my god, I love that.
Franny's gonna say, thanks, sweetie. And she's gonna put her arm around his, and she's gonna be happily walking.
He'll like, lead her down.
So much taller than him. He's like reaching up to like me.
No, he's big too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you guys should be about the
We're
same
probably
height.
about the same size.
Okay, I don't know why.
But Rin's the only short one.
I imagined him shorter. I don't know why.
No, he's big.
Okay,
Dragonborns
cool.
are tall.
Oh yeah, you're right. I guess I didn't put two and two together.
One thing also, he's a copper dragonborn. He's also like oxidized, so he has like green patches on him.
Love him!
I forgot to say that earlier.
Twins. No.
Alright, so I just rolled Faith, and the one you picked up randomly was the black mask that kind of looks like a raven.
Okay.
Alright, so Veda's gonna start leading you guys in the direction of the castle. So, as you guys start to approach, Veda puts on her blue mask and glances to make sure everyone except for Rin is wearing theirs. At the gates, there are two guards who just stare you down. Strangely enough, along with their armor, they're also wearing masks, but both of those masks are very similar in appearance, like kind of a deep gray in color, but featureless, as if this mask exists only to hide their identities and remove any sense of self. So as you're walking up, they're going to say, "Halt! Who goes there?"
Who was the letter addressed to?
Lady Ritatro.
Oh, that's not gonna be me.
Franny's gonna take one small little step forward, and oh, how does she swoo the guard? Franny's gonna be like, "Oh, hello, dear. How are you?"
This dude's gonna look at you. If you could see his eyes, you could assume he's giving you the evil eye. And he's going to say, "Who are you?"
My name is Franny. Franny Freerange. And you are?
He's not going to respond to that question. He's going to say, "I don't see there being a Franny Freerange on the guest list."
Oh, okay. Are you sure?
Do you have an invitation?
Well, you see, I'm just an old stumbly little thing, child, and I dropped mine.
Go ahead, roll a deception for me.
No,
Franny, please.
Franny, please.
I might be able to pull this through, but you know.
Ren is just still arms crossed, just watching this happen, shaking her head just ever so slightly.
Oh no. All right, auto dice. 17.
The guard stares at you for a moment, and then they'll step aside.
Franny's gonna say, "Thank you so much, sweetie." And she's gonna gracefully walk her tall self past the guard.
Just for the hell of it, give me a performance.
Oh no.
Can I be assisting her since I'm like leading her
yes.
through?
So
Okay,
go ahead and do
okay.
it with an advantage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will be assisting you.
He's like my date,
Yeah.
Faith.
You know, she's not all well, so I gotta be here for her.
Friggin' 7.
Dang.
You stumble, and they get the feeling that you're not of noble birth. Noble people wouldn't stumble and fall like that.
She's infirm, you know. This might be one of her last parties, and we really wanted to have a great time, you know.
The guards look
Saying this to the
uneasy.
guards.
The guards look very uneasy, and they're gonna say, "Is she sick?"
No, not sick. It's like physical. Her muscles aren't doing as well as they used to, you know.
Roll me a deception, please.
Okay. Deception. Dirty 20.
Lovely. Alright, so they believe you, and they let you two go through. However, when Veda and Rin approach, they notice that Rin isn't wearing a mask. So they're gonna kind of look at you, and then they're gonna look at Veda, and they're going to ask, "Are you with them?
Yes, I am.
Where's your mask?"
I'm not wearing one, obviously.
"The prince requested that all guests arrive in costume."
Well, the prince can ask me to do so himself.
They take a step back, like, that's treason. And Veda's gonna jump in, and she's gonna be like, "Forgive her. She's with me. She just has a thing about things being on her face. She doesn't like the feel of them, I suppose." And let's see how well Veda lies. They don't believe her at all. If you want to go full murder hobo, you could try to knock him out.
She's gonna cast command.
Okay, alright.
And she's going to say, I'm trying to choose the right word. She's gonna say allow.
Okay, what's the wisdom saving on that?
It is 13.
Alright, so let's see what the guards got. Okay, so one of them does not believe you at all and doesn't listen. The other one, however, he steps aside to let you go through. But the other one, however, he's just standing there, just glaring at you.
Rin is gonna look back over at Veda to see if she has anything else to offer.
Ada will shrug and just point to her mask.
I'm gonna roll. She's gonna still be this stubborn. Okay. Rin's going to roll her eyes and look back at the guard and say, "Fine, I'll go back and get a gosh darn mask." And she'll start walking away, like shuffling, little dwarf.
Rin? Yeah. I picked up a I have your mask here if you would like it.
She will turn back around and very stubbornly stomp up to Faeth and take the mask out of his hand, won't make eye contact, and just starts walking. She doesn't put it on, but she has it.
Okay, the guard's not gonna let you through until you put it on.
So does the guard, like, step in front of her when she starts to just...
Yeah, I'm kind of anxious to see where this is going.
So the guard steps in front of her, and she glares up at him. And she says, I have a mask.
You're not getting in until you are following the prince's dress code.
Come on, put it on, COVID Karen.
That's literally
I'm
what's
just gonna have
happening
a
right
pox party in here.
Put the fucking mask on.
Herd immunity.
now. She's going to ask the guard, why is the prince so adamant about wearing these things?
This is so topical, like...
I do not question his highness.
Well, perhaps you should. And then she'll aggressively put it on her face and shove him aside and start walking.
Give me a sanity roll right now, Gabby.
Oh, snap!
Oh, joy. What, is it just a d20 roll?
Just
or
a straight
how do I-
D20.
Okay. I got a 2!
So when you put the mask on and you look around, you notice that you can actually see kind of an aura around Veda, and it's kind of a dark reddish color. And then when you look at your party members, their aura is kind of a dark black color. And at first you're like, this is cool, but this is also really fucking weird. And you're just gonna angrily stomp towards the doors.
Great. She'll keep that to herself.
Alright, so you guys enter the Grand Ballroom. So when you step inside, there are revelers and partygoers everywhere. Everyone is dressed to the nines in costumes and masks more elaborate than the last. A servant wearing a mask similar to those the guards were wearing just pushed goblets of wine into your hand, and then they just kind of disappear from sight.
Rin does not drink this thing.
Rin, go ahead and give me a perception.
That is an 8.
You notice sort of a red aura just all around the room. You can't tell if it's coming from an individual person. You can just tell that it's there.
Okay.
Alright, so you guys are looking around, and Veda whispers low enough for all of you to hear, remember, we're looking for the prince.
Yes, I have a few words to speak with him.
I love that!
I'm sorry.
I love that! I love it! Alright, so you guys can start by talking to any one of these people to get some ideas. If you want, you can look around a little more in the ballroom. It's very opulent, and there are actually several different rooms leading from the main ballroom and off into like these little alcoves, and they're all a different color, and each one seems to have like a different activity. Like there's a green room and it's just full of people gambling. There's an orange room and it's full of people just stuffing their faces. It's all there. Anything you could want from an awesome party thrown by a royal person, it's there.
Ren will wait for Faeth to take the lead since he led us all here.
Franny's totally doing the same thing as she is literally right next to Faith.
Me? Oh, jeez. Oh, no.
Listen, you named your character Faith, okay?
Oh, don't have faith in me. But you gotta have faith.
Uh-huh.
I didn't mean for this to happen. I don't see the prince anywhere.
Everyone
In
is
this
wearing
room?
a mask. You can't really tell who's who. It's
Right.
varying people of varying ages, races. There's a lot of people here, and clearly they're noble.
Veda never said anything what the prince looks like, anything like that, right?
She's never seen him.
She's never seen him. Okay.
A little overwhelmed here. Anybody have any suggestions, or am I just flying by the seat of my pants here?
Maybe we can ask if they have any beverages around here, sweetie.
We got handed wine.
Yeah, Ren will look at the drink in Franny's hand.
It's fine. It's fine. She's a little, you know.
Franny is
It's
gonna...
not just physical, it's a little mental as well.
Oh!
I'm
okay,
sorry.
true. She's in early stages of...
She's dementia, it's fine.
Yeah.
Short-term memory
Franny's-
loss.
Yeah, Franny does have short-term memory loss. So, she's gonna look down at the drink and she's gonna be like, "Oh, right, honey. What about little finger snacks or something?"
I'll lead him off into the food room then, I guess.
As she's following them over to where the food is, I know you said there was like a red aura around like basically everyone, but is there any distinguishable auras around different people at all? Like, does anyone stand out, or is it all just vague red
It's all
except
just
for the
a
party
vague
members?
red haze, except for the party members. Their haze is kind of a blackish color.
Okay, got it.
You could roll perception again if you want to get a little more specific.
I mean, since there's a different angle of the room now, might as well.
Go ahead.
That is a 12 this time.
Alright, so as you're looking around from this viewpoint, you notice that the haze has faded a bit, and when you focus on each individual person, you can see their auras are just a deep red color, and you have no idea why.
Interesting.
So as you're standing there looking, I'm gonna see what happens to you.
Oh, lovely. Love these words.
Something happens?
A very drunk man just trips over you and face plants.
Watch where you're going. I know I'm short, but damn, I was standing right here.
She needs a Brooklyn accent. And I'm walking here! Get out of her face!
Yes.
So this drunken man is going to attempt to scramble to his feet, and he's going to say, "My apologies, fair lady," and he's going to bow, but he's drunk, so he's going to topple over again. And looking at him, you see that he's wearing a silver mask with diamonds, and it's very askew. You can tell that his clothes are mussed, so he's probably been busy somewhere.
Busy as in busy
Busy!
eyebrows raised, or okay.
He actually came, you know what, roll me a perception to see if you can tell where he might have come from.
Ooh, that is an 18.
Yeah, you know exactly where he came from. There is a dark violet room straight across, like, perpendicular to where you are, and it's deep violet, and there are a lot of people having some fun in there.
Ren sees that and then looks over at this man and just tries to keep her composure and says, "Well, you seem to be quite a mess, sir. Stand up straight. Let me have a look at you."
He's gonna try, and he's gonna be swaying like the room is spinning, and he has no idea how to stand still. But he's standing, more or less.
She's going to try to look into his eyes and see, like, if he's acting like this just because he's really, really drunk, or if something else happens in that room other than, you know, the shenanigans, if you will.
Go ahead and roll perception for me.
That is 16.
He's just drunk off his ass.
Once she realizes this, she will just nod and say, "You should probably find yourself some water. Good day." And she turns back to her party.
If you look over at Veda, she's smirking a little bit, and then she's gonna cover her mouth with her hand. She's gonna say, "I'm sorry. That was just a little funny."
There's no laughing matter in being basically tripped over just because they weren't looking at where they were going. I'm a person too. I deserve to be perceived. And then she goes over to the food, and whatever the first piece of food that she can see is.
It's a giant. Let me see. Actually, no, I was about to say it just off the top of my head, but let's find out what's the first piece of food you see. No, it's a giant turkey leg.
No! She grabs that. She grabs that turkey leg and just shoves it in her mouth. Just starts chowing down.
Okay, lovely, awesome, living for it. So Veda's gonna follow you guys in, and she's just gonna look around in this orange room just full of people just stuffing their faces. And she's gonna frown and say, "I dunna think this is gonna help us find the prince."
I mean, if you have another idea, you got me.
Veda's gonna look around the table, and she is going to see that there is a rather rotund nobleman just stuffing his face, barely even pausing to chew. He's just inhaling it all down. And she's gonna nod and say, "Perhaps we should ask some noble people, starting with that one there."
I swear if he's in the purple room.
Nope,
And
he's
Rin
in the
says
orange
that out
room.
loud.
He is...
No, I mean, like, the prince.
Oh, the prince, if he's in the purple
Yeah.
room.
She just says it out loud. I swear if the prince is in the purple room.
Franny is gonna walk right up to this guy as she's hearing this conversation.
Love it. Okay, so he's, like I said, he's just sitting there inhaling, barely pausing to chew. And you notice that he doesn't even notice you. He doesn't even look up from his food. He's just going down on this stuff. Like, he's just smashing plate after plate after plate after plate, not even really pausing to take a drink or anything.
Franny is gonna reach out and lightly tap him on the shoulder.
Let me see if he notices you. He does! So he's going to look up from whatever he's eating. You can't even tell at this point. It's been so demolished. And he's going to say, "Ah, yes, my dear. What can I help you with?"
Franny is gonna reach her hand out slowly and she's gonna say, "Hi, my name is Franny. Franny Freerange, sweetie. What's yours?"
He's going to grab Franny's hand, press a kiss to her knuckles, and it's pretty gross because it's all slobbery and has some food in there. And he's going to say, "Lord Ratby, at your..."
Ratby.
And then he pauses, looking for the word. He goes, "Service." And then...
Hello, Lord Ratby?
Yes, my dear, of course.
I was wondering, kind sir, I think you would know, have you seen the prince?
Go ahead and give me a persuasion, my dearest.
Persuasion. What is Franny's persuasion? Haha, 17.
Okay, he's going to get this dopey look on his face, and he's going to say, of course, my dear, my dear." And he's going to gesture towards the green room, where people are just gambling.
Oh. Thank you, Lord Ratby. It was very pleasurable to meet you. I will let you finish your meal.
Of course. And then he's just going to go back to smashing whatever's in front of him.
And then Franny's going to turn around to the party and kind of shrug her shoulders a little bit like, see, we know where he's at.
All right. So, what do you guys do now?
Franny's going to start making her way over to the green room.
Faith is right behind her.
All right, so you guys head over to the green room and go ahead and, Franny, since you're the one who spoke to Lord Ratby, give me a persuasion roll. See if you can't figure out where the prince is.
A persuasion?
Perception. Sorry. Did
Perception?
I say persuasion?
Oh.
I'm stupid.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
18. Oh, you're fine.
You know exactly where he is. You actually see him walking with a younger woman towards the front of the ballroom where there is an ornate throne. And you can tell that he is probably not human, considering you can tell under the mask he looks like... So he is a Leonin. He looks very fierce. He has these yellow eyes under his mask. And his mask, honestly, isn't very creative. It's literally a lion mask over a lion's face. So, he dressed up as himself. He dressed up as himself. So, real creative ruler here, guys. Real creative. Loving it. Living for it. So, he is speaking to this younger woman while they're walking. And she looks up at him. And you can tell she's definitely... enamored of him. She thinks he's like the coolest thing since sliced bread, you know.
Is sliced bread here?
Is there sliced bread here?
I don't know.
That's a good question. I haven't decided that. Let's say there is sliced bread. He's the coolest thing since sliced bread. She thinks he's epic.
Awesome.
So, you guys see this? Well, at least Franny sees him. Franny, do you say anything to the party?
Everyone, I think that's the prince.
Rin will look over at who Franny indicates. Start going for it.
Oh no.
She starts walking over to him.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh.
Rin, my dearest, perhaps you should slow down. The time for yelling is not exactly now.
Oh, I'm not going to yell. I just have to speak with him.
Lord have mercy, and she's gonna start chasing after Rin.
Yeah, Faeth is trying not to draw attention, but definitely walking behind them. Looking at Franny.
So he dismisses the noblewoman as he sees you guys coming, and he's going to say, "Welcome, welcome. Are you enjoying yourselves?"
Well, the turkey leg was quite good, I will give you that, but I have a question to ask of you. Your honor. Or however you'd like to be addressed.
Judge.
He'll make this face at you, say, "You may refer to me as His Most Illustrious Highness." You get some spoiled rich brat vibes from this guy.
I'm gonna turn to Franny and be like, "It's Royal Hiney." Under my breath.
Oh my god, should I see if he hears you say that?
Just real quiet.
He hears you say that.
Arnar.
He shoots you a look and says, "Since you are my guest and given the extenuating circumstances, I shall not punish you for such language."
Of course, your most illustrious Royal Highness. Bow to him. Thank you for your grace.
Well, your most illustrious Royal Highness, I have one question to ask of you. It is why you must enforce this ridiculous mask rule on all of us.
He is going to smile and say,
Your mask isn't even very good yourself.
"Ouch!"
And I had no choice in which mask I was going to wear today, so I guess I shouldn't judge your mask, because mine is hideous as it is. But why must I wear it?
He's gonna look at you and he's gonna say, "Such spirit." And you know what? Go ahead, give me another perception roll, Gabby.
That is an 18.
Okay, so if you're really looking for it, you can see that his aura is red, but it's also tinged with black on the outside. So his aura is different than anybody's you've seen here today. And looking a little closer, you notice that he is wearing a necklace. And honestly, looking at this necklace, you think it's the coolest thing you've ever seen. I don't know if she's one for jewelry, but it's definitely cool looking. And with an 18 perception, I'm going to say you recognize it just a little bit, but you're not sure exactly where you've seen it. Allow me to show you.
Very intriguing.
So,
Okay. She'll wait for his answer about the mask thing, and then I'll see how she reacts to
he'll
noticing
say, "During times like this, do you not prefer slight anonymity in this den of sin?" And he'll stretch his arms out to kind of gesture to all the rooms where various heinous activities are going on.
I believe in owning up to one's actions and not being ashamed. If you wish to participate in such activities as what is going on around us, you should be able to do it openly and freely without judgment.
So as you are lecturing the hell out of him, you hear a chiming of a clock. And slowly, everyone around you just sort of shuts up and looks toward an alcove that is just all black on the inside with red windows, and there's just this big-ass grandfather clock just chiming away the times, and it chimes 12. And what you guys choose, like, as you're doing this, like, it just, like, honestly, it's very eerie, the way just the crowd hushes as it just kind of holds power over them, and you guys actually fall silent too, and it's very strange. The only thing that each of you can really hear is the pounding of your own heartbeat. Something about this grandfather clock is freaking you guys out. And I'm gonna have everybody roll perception for me.
Oh no.
I got another 18.
I finally made a character that sucks at perception. I'm pretty sure.
Finally.
Literally everybody else's wisdom, please. Faith's wisdom is not good.
14.
11.
Alright, so Rin and No, just Ren. Make a sanity roll.
Lovely. Why am I the only one who's had to do this
I'm
yet?
glad Mikhayla and I are like, what's
Right.
happening here?
Right.
I got an 11.
You rolled an 11.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. So
R.I.P.
you actually see this tall figure, cloaked in red, moving from room to room. He towers over the partygoers, but he doesn't interact with them. His mask is grotesque. It is the gaunt face of a corpse covered in crimson hues, and this person does not belong here. So as you're looking at this person, you kind of lose your grip on reality for a hot sec, and you take 1d4 psychic damage.
Oh, okay. Am I rolling for that?
You know
Or
what?
are you rolling?
You go ahead and roll for it. See how much damage you take.
1d4?
1d4, my dear.
2.
Alright, so you take 2 points psychic damage. As for my darling Franny and my darling Faeth, you two... Actually, no. Franny, it takes you a sec, but you see a red cloaked figure moving from room to room. You can't see his face or whether or not he's wearing a mask, but you do feel a chill run down your spine. You don't think this person belongs here. As for Faeth, you catch a glimpse of a figure cloaked in red, but you think it's just another party goer.
Really like his cloak.
Franny's gonna look over at Faith and say, Faith, sweetie, what do you mean you like his cloak? That person does not belong here.
Oh, he doesn't? I just
No.
thought he was another bloke around here, you know?
Ren will turn over to them as well and say, definitely does not belong here, and she will turn back to the prince again and look at his necklace and say, that looks familiar. Can you tell me about where you've gotten this before? It is quite beautiful.
It's a family heirloom, he says, and he's lying but not very well, so go ahead and roll to see if you can figure out. Go ahead, roll your, I believe that would be wisdom, maybe?
Wisdom, that is... a 14.
He is so lying. Right through his teeth. So, you know he's lying, and you're hella sus. You are hella sus.
Ren is going to say, a good host doesn't lie to his guests.
He'll look a little shaken, and he'll say, you dare call me a liar?
You're very clearly withholding some information. Something's not right here.
He's gonna stare at you, and as you're giving him, like, the lecture of a lifetime, he's looking down at you like this big-ass Leonin is kind of tremoring in front of a
little
dwarf.
I love the scenery here. I'm loving the energy created in this studio today.
So, you guys, as you're standing there and she's staring down the prince, there's, like, this buzzing sound that you can hear. It just starts somewhere. It's not loud, but it's enough to send your teeth just chattering. And so, as you're doing this, since Rin is facing the prince, but you guys aren't, Faeth and Veda, you see 3 incorporeal spirits surface. There is a half-elf male, a teenage human, and a little girl. Veda, she's going to cover her mouth, and she's going to stifle a cry when she sees the half-elf male. And she is going to, like, get tears in her eyes. And each of these spirits actually look pretty similar to the bodies you found in the carriage. And the guests begin to panic, but none of the spirits move. They're all just staring at the prince.
Huh.
Ren is too focused on, like, staring the prince down. She does not notice any of this.
Yeah, now those ones don't belong here, know that much.
After Faith says that, Franny's gonna look over at Faith and say, you don't say, sweetie.
Okay, come on now. I never said I was the most observant, but... yeah.
They're just standing there and staring, and since you guys are actually looking, go ahead and roll me a perception. I need to see if you guys beat this and notice what's happening.
Wow. 16!
Oh, you notice.
Whoa.
With a -1, too.
You notice?
Wow.
What about you, Fanny? Do you notice?
Oh, 6. So no, Franny don't realize.
Faith, you
that.
notice that the ghosts aren't staring at the prince's face. They're actually staring at something on his chest.
Okay, I was gonna ask where exactly that's like was my next question. They're staring at something on his chest, and I look and do I see the necklace?
Roll me another perception.
Oh lord, don't make him do this.
With advantage. I'm giving you advantage.
That one actually wasn't too bad. 14.
You know what? I'm gonna say you notice that he's wearing a necklace, and when you turn to look at him, he's gonna stare at all of you, and he's gonna gesture wildly at the 3 specters, and he's gonna say, "Get them, you fools!"
Who get what now?
The specters come towards, like, us?
No, the specters aren't moving. They're just very angrily staring at you. He's gesturing for you to attack the specters.
Who are you to command me? I don't live in your kingdom. You still haven't been honest with me about that necklace.
Sass master. I love it. So, while you're sassing him, Veda's gonna muster up her courage, and she's going to say, how is it that while your subjects die, you and your friends remain healthy, your highness? And you notice when she says your highness, the phrase is just full of poison and malice. She clearly sees this dude as a terrible ruler. What's your next move, my darlings?
Franny's definitely deciding between fight and flight here. She's gonna look at Rin, because Rin's been, just busting it up in here, so.
I'm making a decision real quick. Okay, yeah. She's gonna cast command on him. She's gonna cast it again, and she's going to say confess.
Oh,
It's a wisdom 13.
Okay. He literally rolled a 14, so he won't say anything. So, what's happening while this is happening? This red cloaked figure is going to kind of move to the center of the ballroom. And with a very withered hand, it just points at him. And it speaks. Its voice is very raspy. It's like the sound of grave dirt falling on a coffin. It is the sound of sand running through an hourglass. It is the sound of time itself. So the prince is going to grip his necklace. And you know what? Does anybody speak primordial, abyssal, or draconic?
I speak abyssal and draconic.
Lovely.
I
get most of it.
I believe I speak draconic too.
You could have been speaking to me the whole time in my language!
So, you guys
I
are
don't.
legit just staring at this thing as it's speaking. And it is looking at the prince, and it's going to say, "For too long you have cheated me. Your life is mine, traitor prince. You have nowhere to hide. You can no longer satiate my hunger for you with the blood of the innocent."
Ren will very slowly head turn back to look at the prince. And with raised eyebrows. Like, you sure you don't want to tell me what's going on yet?
The prince looks very panicked, and he is going to call out to his guests, "Whomever brings me that man's head shall see riches beyond their ken." And his guests, they just straight up attack the masked figure. But as they do, each of them falls to the ground, writhing in agony as their skin is painted crimson with their own blood.
Unless someone else is gonna do something, I know how Ren's gonna react.
I'm gonna let Rin react first.
Yeah. Face is a little, taken aback right now.
Rin takes the warhammer that's been, like, strapped to her back, and she just slams it down on the ground. She says, "Enough! If it's his head you want, and he's been unjustly killing people to save his own skin, I will bring his head to you."
Once Rin says that, Franny's gonna slowly grab her quarterstaff, like, out from behind her. She's just gonna slowly pull it over her shoulder and hold it down to her side.
The figure's gonna look at you guys, and he's going to say, "This prince," and he pretty much spits out the word prince, and he's going to say, "has traded the lives of his own people to spare himself and his noble friends from my disease. He has procured the periapt of health by selling his own soul. I only want him."
"Then you shall have him." and she's going to rip off her mask and turn over the prince and say, "This was fucking stupid anyway." She's gonna swing her warhammer at him.
Okay. Go ahead and everyone roll for initiative.
She literally woke up and chose violence this morning.
Literally. Oh, that was terrible.
Yeah, that was absolutely horrible. That's a 3.
Oh, man. You and I are right there together.
I got a 12.
Got a 5.
Okay, and then Faeth got a 5.
Righto!
And then my darling Franny got a 3. Alright, so that means that, believe it or not, Rin, you get to make the first move.
Woo! So, like I said, she's bringing that warhammer down on this prince. That is a 15 to hit.
That hits. Roll your damage.
That is 6 damage.
Okay.
And she has 2 up in fighting, so she's gonna lift it back up and just whack him again. Or at least attempt to. That one is a dirty 20.
That definitely hits.
And then that one is 5.
Okay. Alright, so that brings us to the prince. So the prince is going to look at you, and he is going to... Ooh! He's going to let out an earth-shattering roar. And what you need to do is do a wisdom saving throw.
Is that all of us?
All of you. Anyone within 20 feet of this man.
Oh no. Why is it the time that I make a wisdom character? A bad wisdom character. It's now.
I got
5.
a 14.
You're fine. You are fine, Rin. What about you guys? I should also roll for Veda. That'd be smart.
Franny, what you get?
5.
You are now frightened for 1 minute.
Great. You just see Franny zooming. Her muscles are perfectly fine. She's running like a freaking track athlete.
It's all mental for her.
Right.
What about you, Faeth? Are you okay?
Nope, I got it too.
You totally,
Oh,
you are scared. You are scared of this man. And Veda is fine, so she takes her turn next, and she is going to swing her mace. And she definitely hits. Alright. So that hits him, and then we go on to... Oh, we go on to Faeth. Faeth, go ahead and...
Oh man.
Go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw if you want to not be frightened anymore.
Oh no. 5.
Yeah, no, that you still freaking scared. Franny, you wanna try and get out of this whole thing you're going
Can
for?
I try and attack with disadvantage though?
I mean, if you want to.
I'd like to.
Alright,
please.
go ahead, attack with
I
disadvantage.
pull out my crossbow since I probably ran away. And it's real shaky.
What do you need me to roll for?
Just a wisdom. And what did you roll, my darling?
That's an 8.
That does not hit. It actually goes wide and zooms right past Rin's ear.
Aw, jeez.
15 on the wisdom.
That is not enough.
No!
You can go ahead and
Faith
try...
is never getting out of this.
You can try and take an attack with disadvantage if you like.
Okay. I'm gonna,
Why is the mask Karen the only one being competent right now?
I know,
And
right?
Veda, and Veda.
In Veda.
Yeah, you're right. She's gonna try to throw her dagger. I'm scared. Disadvantage. Okay, oof, yeah, that's not good.
What is it?
Oh, okay, that's a nat 1. That's a nat 1.
Okay, go ahead and roll your attack again. Let's see if it hits one of your party members.
Oh,
Swear to God,
18.
Okay, no, it does not hit one of your party members. Instead, it actually lands at Veda's feet, and she's going to whip around and say, "Watch it!" And she's going to turn back around. And that brings us back to Rin.
Rin is gonna bring the Warhammer down again.
Okay.
That is a 24 to hit.
24 to hit. That hits, and just for the hell of it, go ahead and make a dex save for me.
Okay.
See if you can't grab the necklace off of his neck.
Dex save. That is a 19.
You grab the necklace and you just wrench it off of his neck. So go ahead and deal your damage.
Okay, that is... Ooh, that is max damage. That is 13.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
And then, as my bonus action, because I can't not do this one shot without casting this, Spiritual Weapon, which her spiritual weapon is just a tinier version of her Warhammer. So
A tiny one?
Yeah, it's just a tiny Warhammer that floats at her side. And that's gonna attack him too.
Alright, go ahead and roll for that.
That is a 12.
That does not hit.
Okay.
But, since you ripped the necklace off of the prince's neck, the specter is going to start approaching the prince. Like, the red specter is going to start approaching. And the prince will draw his dagger and kind of swing it weakly towards it. And his movement just starts to grow slower and slower as you see the effect that Veda was talking about of the disease. It spreads through his entire body. Like, his fingertips are turning red with blood, and blood seeps out from under his elaborate mask. It just falls off this dude in rivulets, and then he just collapses. And as you're standing there, each of the partygoers begin to drop as well. They have also contracted the illness. And what you do next is up to you.
Faith holds his breath.
Yeah. Ren would have definitely stepped, like, way back when that thing started approaching.
Covering his nose.
Rin, go ahead and give me a perception, since you are closest to Veda.
That is 21.
So you just notice Veda isn't standing anymore. You notice that she is on the ground. And you just see her all sprawled out, and there's blood seeping out over her skin. And she's gonna cough weakly and kind of smile up at you. And her white teeth and fangs are just coated in a very thin layer of red.
Ren will run up to her. Is she still conscious right now?
She's still conscious. She's just zoning.
She's gonna cast Cure Wounds on her to see if that helps anything.
It does not. She's going to grab your hand and she's going to say, "I ask that my god Helm keep the disease inside of me at bay until I was able to free Swordbreak from the clutches of the Red Death."
Bryn, holding her, will say, "No, there's something I must be able to do."
She'll shake her head and say, "No, my time is long since past."
She'll close her eyes for a moment, and she seems to, like, be praying to her god, and then she nods, and she'll make one last eye contact with Veda and say, "I understand. Things just have their time. I thank you for trusting us and helping you save this town."
She'll smile at you, and then she's just gonna gasp her final breath, and as she just goes limp in your arms, the specter just dissipates into nothing, leaving behind just a crumpled cloak with a terrifying mask on top of it. So you guys are just standing in a ballroom full of corpses now. What do you want to do?
I wasn't that scared.
Ren will turn around to Faith and just snort at him.
What now? I wasn't.
You were absolutely terrified, and you know it.
His tail is, like, tucked really tight under his legs, and he's like, I wasn't scared. Oh,
Are you happy with the adventure you chose for us today?
I mean, does she still have the necklace? Do you still have, like, the necklace?
I assume it's still in my hand.
It's still in your hand.
I mean, that could fetch a pretty penny.
You just want to sell the periaptive health.
Look, he's not the brightest, okay?
You're an archaeologist. This is an artifact.
Doesn't mean he's smart. He just gets paid a lot of money.
He's Indiana Jones out of the archaeologists.
He's here for a good time, not a long time, okay? He's here for the thrill of digging.
Rin will pocket the necklace and say, I think it's best if I make the choices of what happens to this next.
Fine. Can I walk up to the mask? Is the mask just chilling there, the red mask?
Yes, it is.
So looking at it, do I see anything outwardly wrong with it?
Nope.
It was just worn by a specter. Can I make any sort of check on it?
I mean, if you want to, you could do an arcana check, a religion check, whatever you think would be best to help you.
I think arcana.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, either one, it's about the same, so... Oh, 22!
22. So, looking at it, it's just a regular old mask.
Does it have, like, gems or anything
Nope.
on it?
Nope.
Dang.
It looks like a corpse's face.
Well... Look around the room, there's just a bunch of dead people in the room now, right?
Yep, you're just in a room full of dead people.
Well... Faeth is just gonna start going and taking masks off people.
No, Faith!
They have, like, diamonds and stuff on them. I'm not coming out of here empty-handed.
Fair enough.
Rin just shakes her head and she will go wait by the door.
Yeah.
Just a couple, and then I'll jog on over back to them.
Alright, so when you guys step out from the carnage in the ballroom, the night sky welcomes you guys. It's just a comforting type of familiarity. And the stars twinkle above you guys as the three of you just enter the courtyard. The two guards you encountered earlier are slumped over in their positions, and you can only assume that they too fell victim to the prince's selfishness. And as you continue through the gates, the ruined town of Swordbreak lays before you. A gentle wind just kind of blows through the streets as if the city itself were letting out a sigh of relief. And you guys just leave the desolate kingdom behind.
As she passes the dead guards, Rin mutters to herself loudly enough that if the other want to hear her, you would hear it. She says, I told them they should have questioned their prince.
Oh, snap.
Ooh. Wow, I'm here for Rin. I'm here for her.
I was gonna say, as they're walking, like, down the path, Faith just goes, you think it's alright we just left them all dead back there?
I mean, if you want to, you guys can, like, take over the castle for all I care and turn it into your hideout.
Franny still has her drink, okay? Franny has been with her drink the whole time, just so you guys know.
Oh my god.
She's my grandma!
She is.
My
She's
grandma
literally
falls asleep with wine in her hands all the
yeah.
time.
Oh my god, that's literally Franny. That is her.
And that would conclude the Ballad of Swordbreak.
I loved it. That
Righto.
was fun.
That was great.
Yeah, that was good. That was a lot of fun.
Oh.
I mean, the castle's pretty nice, so, you know, maybe we'll be back. But there's also a lot of dead bodies.
Yeah.
Like, do we want to deal with the dead bodies?
Do you?
Right.
Do you really?
No,
I
really?
think we're just on the, our job is done here.
I'll tell
We're
my
gonna move on.
wealthy patrons, and they'll come clean her up for us, probably.
Yes, yes.
Oh, man.
That was fun. I enjoyed Rin. And
Rin
Faith
is,
very
like, I
much.
love these characters so much.
Yeah.
We are chaos incarnate as these characters, I feel like.
I had no idea that that's how Rin was gonna be.
I
love
didn't know
it.
Faith was gonna be like this.
loved it.
I thought he'd be a little bit more professional, but he's not.
Right. I thought, I was thinking the same thing, but then the fact, like, I feel like the rules also helped with the way that you played him, but I thought that was very fun, especially with Franny and how the way that she is. And the way that Faith and Franny were just like, and then Rin's like, I'm gonna fucking kill you all.
The reason I was really pushing you toward the Raven mask is it was letting you see who had the sickness in their bodies.
So I don't know if Rin was smart enough to put that together or not. But as soon as she realized the prince was lying,
Oh,
and
snap.
then what was revealed,
That was
she was just like
brilliant. That was like chef's kiss brilliant. Like, none of the guys ever like checked him when I was testing it on them. It was so funny. I was like, you guys, come on.
I mean, she already had a bone to
Boy.
pick with him because she hated the whole mask thing.
Yeah.
So
Right. She wanted to speak to the manager
She
of
wanted
the
to
kingdom.
speak to the manager. She had to.
Literally.
The man in charge.
and then she killed.
And
the
then she
manager.
killed him! He actually had 19 hit points left when you yanked the necklace off of him.
I didn't even get to, as a rune knight, I get to do this cool thing called, Giant's Might, in which I become large.
Except
So I, like, double in size, basically.
Except you failed your wisdom save, so...
I tucked my tail between my legs like a scared dog.
Man, he was fun to create. I loved him.
Yeah, that was a cool character. I love Leonins.
Yeah. Although, most Leonins are royal, and it's very sad, because they're typically regal and generally nice people, except for this one.
I mean, there's a lot of corruption in royals.
You're telling me.
Thank you for listening to this bonus episode of the Maidens of Mayhem podcast. My name is Gabby, and I have additional info for you all. If you want to hear the blooper from this episode, be sure to stay until the end. The next episode of Maidens of Mayhem will air on May 5th. Be sure to tune in to hear how Jilly and the rest of the maidens fare in Scara. We are on certain social media. Follow us on Instagram at Maidens of Mayhem Pod and on Twitter at Maiden Mayhem Pod to see and hear more of us. The music used in this episode can be found at silvermansound.com and was written by Shane Ivers. The songs as they appeared in this episode are as follows: The Medieval Banquet, Fantasy Overture, and The Rise of Heroes. Links to these songs are provided in the description and are free to use under the Creative Commons Attribution 4.0 International License. Once again, the next episode of Maidens of Mayhem will come out on May 5th. Thanks for listening and see you next time.
Ooh, Morgan and I are gonna stare at each other until we figure it out.
Alright,
I
since you
got
guys put
chocolate
me
on
on,
my ankle,
no,
hold
no,
on.
since you put me on the spot, Mikhayla, I'm putting you on the spot. You're
Okay.
next.
Okay.
Hold on,
Fair
I gotta
enough.
go clean chocolate off my ankle. Hold on.
How did that get there?
Oh my gosh.